Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about two different things. We're going to talk about financial freedom and why I shoot for financial freedom, but also we're going to talk about achieving what you want out of life, because these are the two things that are either pushing people forward or holding them back, right? So you can use financial freedom to push you forward. You can use getting everything you want out of life to push you forward, or it can hold you back as well. You see, 3 years ago, I did not know that I would be owning two houses. 3 years ago, I did not know that I'd be recording in one of my houses talking about financial freedom. In fact, I was just going through life like an everyday American. All I knew is that I should save. All I knew is to invest in the stock market. I didn't know anything about an asset. I didn't know anything about wealth accumulation. I didn't know anything about how to live financially free. All I knew is that I should stay out of debt, save a lot of money, and invest in the stock market. But now I have a different sense of what I want financial freedom to look like for me. I have a different sense of what I want everyday life to look like for me. You see, the more money you make, the more opportunity you have. And so let's talk about that first. But before we get started, if you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because it truly does help the channel grow. Now, let's say I make $50,000 a year. I live in New York City on $50,000 a year. That is tough. That means you're coming home with about $2,500 to $2,600 a month, right? Let's say it's $2,600 a month in New York City. You are going to be spending about $1,800 to $2,000 just on an apartment. So if that's me, I have an understanding that I'm going to need a roommate at the very minimum if I'm not living with family members. Because of this, that roommate is going to pay $900 to $1,000. This frees up $900 to $1,000 for me. After you split utilities and all of that, you probably have about $1,200 before food and transportation. The good thing about New York is that you have public transportation. That's not going to cost you more than $200 a month, maybe $250 a month, because you know it goes up. And then after food, you're probably left with about $800 a month. So even in New York, yes, on $50,000, you can live. Whether you have to move to Queens, whether you have to move to Brooklyn, you can live off $50,000 and still have $700, $800 a month in your pocket. And that's without living with family members. That's without being on food stamps. That's without being on housing assistance and all those other programs. Understand this. This is not to downplay anybody's life or expectations. But when you're making $50,000 and you're only saving $700, $800 a month over the course of a whole year, that's right around $8,000, $9,000 a year. So now I have to set up a game plan on my money. We all know that you're going to go out to eat sometimes. We all know that you're going to go to the club sometimes to have some fun. We all know that you're going to do these things. To me, that comes out to right around $2,000 to $3,000 a year in fun money, with the exception of traveling, because I do spend a lot more on traveling. Now, before I started traveling a lot, that $3,000, that just means that you're saving or investing $6,000 a year. What is that $6,000 going to do for you? If you have the mindset, if you have the knowledge, understand that as a first-time home buyer, after 3 years of saving $6,000, you now have $18,000. You got first-time home buyer grants. Chase Bank will give you $5,000. And then you have other companies that are even going to give you a 3% down payment. So let's say you want a $300,000 condo or apartment in New York. Yes, there are $300,000 apartments in Brooklyn. They're not the best places in the world, but they're still $300,000. You can afford it. So with a 3% down payment that the company is already giving you, you add your $18,000 to the interest rate, to lower the interest rate, because we know interest rates are super freaking high right now. That's going to make your monthly payment even that much less. But we're not going to stop there. we're going to get at least a 2 to 3 bedroom for that condo. So now you move the roommate in, and now you have wealth accumulation. Every time you pay that mortgage, you're increasing your wealth. And on top of that, the only thing you have to worry about is the inside of the house, because the exterior of the house is paid for with HOA fees and all that other stuff. So you're in the same position that you were in 3 years ago. The only difference is that when you pay on that mortgage, you're getting a percentage of that back in your pocket. So now when you save that $6,000, when you save that $7,000 every single year, you're no longer looking to use that to buy another property. More so, you're looking to have an emergency fund. You're looking to have a savings cushion because maybe you want to start a family. Maybe you want to do other things. This is the type of strategy that I use, except it wasn't with a condo. It was with single family housing. Understand that even on $50,000 in New York City, you can own real estate and you can start to get equity and wealth. Now, let's move forward. That's just financial freedom. That's just a piece. And yes, you needed another person to be paying in order to help you with that. But as you accumulated that savings from that rent, you less and less needed their assistance. If they skipped out on rent, or if they decided to leave, or if you had to do an eviction, guess what? You had money to pay it through your savings, and then you had money to search for another tenant, get them in the property, and do all that stuff. That is what I had to do for some time. Over time, you're not making $50,000 anymore. Now your income increases to $60,000, but your mortgage is the same. Oh my goodness, what does that mean? You make $10,000 more, your mortgage is the same, you have more money. That doesn't mean go out and spend and have higher and more frequent vacations. That just means you have an opportunity to invest. So you were only saving before $6,000, $7,000 a month. $6,000, $7,000 a year. But now you're investing, baby. Now you're doing everything you need to do in order to get passive income. You're 4 or 5 years in now and you're investing. Okay? And that's if you had worked for 3 years on a $50,000 salary. That means you haven't had a raise for 4 years. You probably had to change companies because your company wasn't paying you anything more than that $50,000. So again, you just had 3 years, no raise on $50,000. I know so many people who are making more than $50,000 and they don't even have that much of an asset. They're not investing. They can't do what it is that they have to do, and they'll blame it on 100 other things. But the numbers are numbers. Numbers work. You were in math class. You were in school. You understood 2 plus 2 equals 4. Life happens. Things happen. But guess what? If your car breaks down, there's transportation. If you can't drive an hour for work to make the same money that you can make across the street at a local restaurant, then work at the local restaurant. There's so many people who will tell me I can't work at McDonald's. There's so many people who will tell me I can't work home health aid jobs. Hey, listen, I don't do those things either. But I'm just throwing out the jobs that people don't like the most. Trust me, there are jobs out there that you can actually enjoy that are close to home that you just have not looked for, searched for, applied for. There are some people that I've had to apply for jobs for them, give them managerial jobs, tell them Chase is hiring, Target is hiring, so-and-so is hiring, Scrubs and Beyond is hiring. These are just a few companies that they never thought about before. And all of a sudden, I just put the bug in their ear. And guess what? They got those jobs. They got those jobs. What does that mean? It was a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding that stopped them from achieving more. But it was just me saying one thing that has allowed them to reach greater heights, to strengthen their resume, to look better on the application moving forward. Assistant manager, lending advisor, lending officer, all these different positions, area manager. I'm trying to put people in positions to be successful. And what does that do? Now, you thought that you could only afford a $300,000 condo, but now you're making $70,000 a year. Now your expectations has risen. No longer do you want to just own a $300,000 condo. Now You want something that's $500,000. You want a house, $500,000 house. Your expectations for your life has risen. And here's why. We only have one life to live. That doesn't mean spend all your money and be financially broke. But that does mean we should live life to the fullest. We should enjoy the fruits of our hard work, of all of our labor. We're going out there every single day, 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month. We should at least enjoy it when we're not working. We should at least come home to a beautiful big house with a beautiful woman or a beautiful husband by your side. We should at least come home to loving children, to loving family members, to loving friends. We should at least come home and to 3 bathrooms, 5 bedrooms. Because we only have but so much longer to live. We only have but so much life to live. And again, that's that financial freedom, and that's that want and desire. Understand, I do not want you to settle for less. I do not want you to say, I have to only budget because Festus said so, and I don't want to be in debt forever and not have money. You see, there's a difference between being $100,000 in debt and still living in an apartment. I'd rather that you at least own a house. But once you own the house, that don't mean you can't move up. That don't mean you can't shoot for more. It just means you need to make more money. You need to earn more money. You need to invest more money to live the life that you want to live later on. I don't want you to be broke, more than broke in order to live that life. I want you to buy that $1 million house with $3 million in investments. I want you to buy that $70,000 car with $300,000 in savings. And so when you're watching my channel, Investing for the Future, Investing with Festus, understand that we don't just want financial freedom. We also want you to live life to the fullest. Because we only got but 60 years left on this earth. Some people have less than that. Let's be real. If you're watching my channel, you at least 18, 19, 20. We got about 60 years. 30 of them to actually enjoy life for real before the going really gets tough. So if you were going to enjoy those 30 years of life, then we need to make sure that we're set up to enjoy those 30 years of life the right way. And so if you like this channel, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.